If you have an hour this week, you can learn 100 songs on the piano by learning just 4 chords.
If you have 3 minutes today, I will show you why not to buy this course and why it's full of lies. Wasn't this fun? If I did this at the beginning of all of my videos, this poor piano lid would be trashed within a month. Hi guys, my name is Stefan, and in this video I want to react to and analyze all of these insane ads by Ridley and really talk to you about the dangers of falling for such empty claims. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. As you know, I don't really do too many reaction videos and things like this because this channel is all about education. But when YouTube shoves these ads into my face 5-10 times a day for an entire year, then I get irritated, and when I see so much misinformation and misleading things in music, which is my passion, I feel I need to speak up against it. What I want to make clear right at the start here is that this video is not about Ridley's piano skills, is not about him, is not about his singing skills. As you can see, he sings in 80% of his videos. I don't want to talk nasty about anyone because that's not my job to do, and I don't want to judge his skills because again, that's not my job to do. What I want to address in this video is the claims that he makes about his course and why they are misleading and why you should be really careful, especially if you're a beginner pianist or you want to start piano and you don't know where to start. It's very easy to fall for something like this. So we're going to watch a couple of the ads and do some fact checks, but before I even get into the first one, let me just say that his course is just under $3,000. It's an online course and you don't get to try it out beforehand. So basically you are supposed to make this purchase based on the ads. It's not a small amount of money, and I know many people would never have that kind of money to spend on an online course, but those of you who have might really want to watch this video until the end. So the first ad we're going to have a look at is the one with the lid slapping, and I think that's by far the most popular, and that's the one I've seen the most, which is about the 4 chords. So let's go.
If you have an hour this week, you can learn 100 songs on the piano by learning just 4 chords. These. Check it out.
So, first claim. While it's true that many pop songs are made up of 4 chords, just by knowing those 4 chords, you can't play those songs. First of all, a song is not made up of 4 chords only. It has a melody and it has words. So you would still need to learn 100 songs, learning the lyrics to 100 songs and learning the melody to 100 songs. And just by knowing those 4 chords, you won't be able to create the character of those songs or pieces, because each of them has a different riff, each of them has a different rhythmic pattern, each of them has a different structure. So it's a good starting point, but it's not going to allow you to play 100 songs, especially if you have no other piano skills. If you're just starting to learn 4 chords, then all you'll be able to do is play those 4 chords.
And can you feel the love tonight?
Same chords.
And I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary.
And here we go with the singing. So again, in all of his videos he sings, and I don't know how you can market a course as a concert pianist to piano students if you're basically a singer who just accompanies himself with chords. I don't see in any ads playing any actual piano music.
My name is Ridley. I've been a concert pianist for more than 9 years.
So, apparently he's been a concert pianist for 9 years, but we haven't seen a single video of him playing anything that a concert pianist would do. A concert pianist means that you actually play solo piano concerts. So you play pieces, you're not accompanying someone, you're not singing songs and playing chords in the background. A concert pianist usually plays concertos and Chopin pieces and Beethoven sonatas and all kinds of things. You can obviously play with an orchestra, but you're still going to be the main thing. So that's what traditionally a concert pianist means. And then he says that he's been a concert pianist for 9 years, and then the video he shows to basically prove that point is that Rihanna song, Yellow Diamonds, whatever it is called, which again is like 3 chords. So apparently if I do this, yellow diamonds in a line, as we're standing side by side, then I'm a concert pianist. Again, it's nothing to do with the playing or the singing. I didn't really try here to do anything, I just copied what he did just by listening to it once. But that's not what a concert pianist does, and that's not what piano playing and learning the piano is about. If you want to be a singer and accompany yourself with a few chords, then yes, that's what it is. But don't market it as becoming a concert pianist. And let's go on.
But more importantly, I also created a brand new way to learn piano that is simpler, faster, and more fun than all other methods.
Aren't all new methods more fun and simple and everything is just being dumbed down? So let's just assume everything is so easy.
So if you want to know the shortcuts to learn piano fast,
Shortcut to learning the piano fast. How many times do we have to say this as teachers and musicians, that there's no shortcut to skills? If you want to learn something, especially a motoric function where you need to learn muscle memory and all of that, there's no shortcut. You have to practice until your hands memorize things. And you have to be very focused, you have to pay attention, and you have to do it diligently and frequently in order for the hands to be able to do things that they don't normally do in everyday life. And this is the same for languages and anything else like dancing. There's no shortcut, you just have to do it. So I hate all of these ads which say that you can learn piano in 21 days, you can learn it with like 1 minute of practice a day, because you can't, you simply can't. Try it, you'll see you can't. You can learn 4 chords, you can play C, F, G, C. Everyone can learn that just by looking at someone else's hands. The notes might not go down so easily, but you can learn it. But that's not playing the piano. That's not learning the art of playing the piano. So this was the ad that I see most often. Now it's a much longer one, but this was the main issue in it. So just before we go on to the next video, which is the main video introducing the course, I did look up a few more videos of him because I was curious what he plays, what he does, and most of the videos are exactly the same. Either singing some Rihanna songs or very popular pop songs with a few chords accompaniment, or the videos where he plays the piano are actually infuriating. Here are a couple.
so far.
So apparently you have to hit your piano and be loud because that's what means that you're a very good musician. Here's another one. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's a skill. He plays fast, he sings on it, he has good rhythm, but this is not what you want to do when you start learning the piano. This is not how you sell a piano course for beginners. And then here's another one, very similar. So basically going into this psychotic mode of like bashing the keys and being as loud as you can and just playing really fast because that's what apparently catches people's attention. If you hear something very pretty like, you know, an easy, which is actually harder to play than that. If you play that full sonata, nobody cares because it's not loud and it's not, you know, it doesn't have the wow factor. It reminds me of X Factor where, you know, the louder you shout, the more people are going to clap. And that's not really what music is about. Music is about expression, is about feelings, is about artistry, is about different colors. If we only have one color, which is playing very loud and playing very fast, then we're not going to be a very interesting kind of musician. Let's have a look at the longer ones. So if you go onto the actual Stephen Ridley Academy website, the video that sells you the course is this one. So let's have a listen.
All right, so I wanted to take a minute to explain what is the Piano Masterclass. This is our flagship product. It's our most popular product. So the traditional way of learning piano, it goes something like this. It's 4 hours of practice every day and it's 15 years.
4 hours of practice every day. Now, I have played piano for a long, long time. I never practiced 4 hours in my life. None of my students practice 4 hours a day, and they can still play very decent music. Yes, some people do practice 4 hours a day, but those are concert pianists who actually perform every single day and who need to play very demanding music and learn music very quickly. But in order to learn piano, especially to intermediate level, you don't need to practice 4 hours a day.
It's memorizing sequence after sequence after sequence. It's learning songs one at a time.
So memorizing sequence after sequence. Why is that so bad? That's how we learn music. We have to memorize, because how on earth would you know if you do something right if you can't remember? So we hear a tune, we memorize how it sounds, and then we memorize how to play it, because otherwise you wouldn't know if you're playing the right notes or not. So it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's overwhelmed because you don't fully understand what's going on. It's taught in Latin. It's taught with symbols and hieroglyphics that don't make any sense.
So apparently music is taught in Latin and hieroglyphics. Now, this is what really made me angry. So first of all, music is not taught in Latin anywhere in the world. I've talked to musicians from every part of the world. Maybe in the Vatican City they do something in Latin, but I've never ever seen a Latin word in my life, and I've seen so many music theory books. There are no hieroglyphics unless you go back to ancient Egypt. So it's just lies trying to discourage you from learning piano in a normal way, the one that worked for everybody else throughout the centuries. The traditional way is not a bad way. Everybody learned piano that way, and we all managed to learn to play it.
And it's taught to you in a way which is too much too soon.
And it's taught to you in a way that's too much too soon. How do we start piano lessons? We learn what the black notes are, then we learn what the white notes are, then we learn where is middle C, then we learn on the first lesson about the whole notes or quarter notes or whatever it is, and we build as like Legos, building blocks. Every lesson we add something new. It's not too much. What is too much is this video, which is making music so complicated, and the ads, which show very, very complicated piano passages and marketing that to beginners. But how piano method books work is actually building little by little, adding one new thing every time. So it's not overwhelming at all.
You're going to do 4 things at once whilst reading the symbols that you don't understand, and somehow you're going to figure stuff out.
You have to do 4 things at once. Yes, you have to play with the right hand, you have to play with the left hand, and sometimes you have to add the pedal, but that's exactly what he does. So how is it different playing music the traditional way or playing what he does? Because he has the same 2 hands and the same foot. It's just so stupid.
You're going to go on YouTube and just memorize, and it takes weeks, and in the end, you can play one song. Yeah. I'm not here to teach you how to say one sentence with no understanding. I'm here to teach you how to speak the language of music with full understanding. I'm here to teach you how to become fluent in piano.
So apparently he's going to teach you how to understand music with all of its symbols and whatever without actually learning music theory, because apparently learning about music theory is bad for you and it's taught in Latin.
By the end of this course, you'll be fluent in piano. You can read and write music.
So by the end of this course, you can read and write music without learning music theory and symbols. How can you read music if you don't learn the symbols?
You'll fully understand all of the fundamentals which make up music. You will be complete as a musician. That is why it's called the Complete Piano Masterclass.
Well, you will be completely ripped off, that's for sure.
All of music theory, all of the music that you enjoy today started out life on a piano.
All the music we enjoy today started off on a piano. What a lie, my god. Piano is one of the newest instruments out there. All the other ones were before, the violin, string instruments and woodwind instruments. The piano was invented in the early classical period, before we had harpsichords and clavichords and all of that. So it's just things like he never learned about music, and apparently he went to a music school and did a music degree. So why would you say things like that?
Because all of music has its grounding in classical music, which was written by people like Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven.
All of music has its roots in classical music written by Mozart, Beethoven, yet he doesn't show a single example from that period. He only plays Rihanna and other modern things, but doesn't play anything classical at all, but he tries to sell his course by talking about the classics.
And that's what this course does. Now, how does it do it is the really cool bit. Because we give you this in 3 minutes daily practice for 6 months. Not 15 years, not 4 hours a day.
This is where I lost it, the next few sentences. So apparently you're going to become a fluent master of the piano with 3 minutes of practice a day. Now let me tell you, in 3 minutes, especially if it's a cold day, is not even enough to warm up your hands. My hands are dead stiff now. It's really cold in this room, and I could not play anything fast right now. I would need to play for at least 15-20 minutes before my hands kind of ease up a little bit and allows my fingers to move. They are stiff. So even if it's a summer day, in 3 minutes, all you have time for is to do a couple of scales to warm up your hand. It's not going to be enough to practice pieces, especially since most songs are longer than 3 minutes and most piano pieces are going to be longer than 3 minutes. So how can you practice for 3 minutes a day?
There is no teaching in Latin. There's no complex hieroglyphics, there's no memorizing.
So basically, he says no memorizing and no symbols. How on earth are you supposed to learn piano if you don't want to learn to read sheet music and you don't want to memorize? There's only two ways of learning piano. You either read from music and you have to learn notation, or you have to memorize by watching someone else's hands, or memorize by ear. So you memorize a tune and then you try to replicate it by using your ears. So there's no other way. The way we learn any kind of skill is by memorization. You have to memorize that movement in order to be able to replicate it. So it doesn't make any sense at all what he says.
And it certainly doesn't need to take time.
And it doesn't take time, so it just happens magically in 3 minutes.
I've broken down music into 55 steps, each one as simple as wiggle that finger. That's how you only need to do it 3 minutes a day.
So apparently there are 55 steps in learning the piano, and one of them is wiggle your finger. So I wonder, how is he going to teach you how to play a prelude or nocturne by Chopin? Is he going to say, step 1, wiggle your finger on the E, step 2, wiggle your little finger on the B flat? But what's B flat? Because we don't know notation, so, and we're not supposed to learn Latin, so how are we going to know which one is B flat? So come on, like wiggling the finger, and that's what we're going to practice for 3 minutes. So I'm not even going to go on with this video because it's another 2 minutes, which is all the same BS. But what I'm trying to say is we are in a world now where we are surrounded by AI, and everything is trying to dumb things down and take away creativity from people, take away motivation. Why would I want to learn anything when an app can do this by 2 clicks? An app can create a track for me, an app can create an accompaniment, an app can create lyrics, an app can actually sample my voice, and I can sing much better than I can actually do with the AI app. It's bad enough that this is happening with AI, but when people who actually learned music and are quote-unquote musicians advertise the dumbing down of music and trying to encourage people to not learn things that have been passed down for hundreds of years, that's really bad for society, and this is how we lose what makes us really human, what makes us individual. If all we're gonna do is play the 4 chords from Rihanna, everybody's gonna do the same thing, then music is going to be very, very sad in a few years. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with pop music. I love pop music and I love classical music just as much, but piano is so much more than 4 chords. You can see I'm getting very passionate about this because I feel that some people have to stand up against this kind of movement which is trying to dumb down music. And when it's so expensive, $3,000, and you don't even know what you're getting, if you have $3,000 to, you know, flush down the toilet, then by all means go for the course. I'm not saying it's a scam. Some people call this a scam. In my eyes, a scam is something where you pay your money and they run away with it and you get nothing for it. This guy, apparently you pay your money and you can have access to the course. Now, are you going to be a master of piano from the course? No. So the course is misleading, and the scammy part for me is that he is selling something that you're not going to get. But you get something for it, so I'm sure you're going to learn a few chords at least from the videos or something, but you're definitely not going to learn the art of piano playing. So to finish off this video, please be very careful with what you sign up for, especially if it's a bigger sum of money, and if somebody is telling you that you can do something which many people do for 18 years and 15 years, and you can get to that stage in 6 months with 3 minutes of practice a day wiggling your middle finger, then be very cautious. And he spent an awful lot of money on these ads, because if they appeared in front of me every 10 minutes when I was watching YouTube videos, it means there was a lot of money spent on it, which is understandable, because if the course is so expensive, then there is a bigger marketing budget to push the videos in front of you. Now, again, I really don't want to judge him as a musician or as a singer, and I'm sure he is, you know, good at what he does, but I don't even care about that. What I care about is what he said in these videos about the course and about piano playing and learning the piano specifically. So I managed to talk for quite a long time about this ad, and if you have any more questions about it, leave them in the comments. I hope this helped with understanding what's wrong with the ads and why there's nothing wrong with him as a person. I want to stress this so many times. The problem is with the ads. That's not what piano playing is about. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.